A comedy show in January. Ask him about it. I think it's on the 16th. It's a Friday. It'll be a good time. He's going to have a bunch of awesome comics there. Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for Shawn Barron.
Thank you, Michael. So, I don't really know about all you folks, but I'm kind of one of those old-fashioned guys. I really believe that children are best seen and not heard, and that's one of the reasons I've befriended a pediatric surgeon who specializes in vocal cords.
Oh!
So, you might have heard of this. A Jewish man, a Muslim, and a black man walk into a racist scenario that our society isn't enhanced by describing any further. But yeah, I like to read to relax. I was reading an interesting book a couple of weeks ago. It was the biography of a Palestinian socialist, the Bible. There's a lot of good books out there, a lot of stuff you gotta try to read to relax. Interesting book I read recently was a book on psychic phenomenon. It's called I Wrote What You're Thinking. And it was very cool because while I was reading this book, I began to understand that I myself actually possess psychic powers. I can heal people with my mind. You see, I just have to think about someone I don't like, and 60 to 80 years later, they're dead. Yeah, books are important. A lot of things are important. Exercise is important. It's good to get out of the house. I need to lose a little weight myself. I went to the gym the other week, and while I was there, I stretched, I lifted, I did squats, but eventually I did have to get off the toilet.
Oh! Oh!
So while I was leaving the gym, I passed by a construction site, and as I very briefly looked over to it, I could see the men were operating a giant crane. But upon closer examination, I realized it was a heron.
A what? Oh, heroin.
So, yeah, I have a question for you guys. Do you know what you call a dodo on an airplane?
Pilot.
A fucking miracle since they're extinct. So the other week, I was actually at a political demonstration. Now, it wasn't exactly what I had planned for. It was really just 6 people at a table demonstrating how you vote. But nevertheless, the police these days, they came, they broke it up, boom, boom, boom. Handcuffs, we're all thrown in the Irish-American wagon, we're taken downtown. So when we get downtown, they say, okay, there's no charge, but we have to take you each into one room at a time, and we're going to have to take your statement. So the officer brings me in and just like, sir, now remember, whatever you tell me is going to be read in open court and can be entered in as evidence. So is there anything you have to say? Please stop hitting me, officer. I have no idea who stole your heroin. Went for vacation a few months ago. I visited the city of Lexington, Kentucky. It's a beautiful place if you've never been there.
Born and raised.
Fucking love it, man. You ever go to Arcadium?
No, what?
Oh, it's a great place. I don't know if you were raised there. I've been there. I've been there like 5 times. I've only been to Lexington twice. So inside of Lexington, as this gentleman knows, and you will probably soon know, there's a lot of horse breeding that goes on down there.
Yeah.
It's very big. They breed a lot of the horses, and the best horses in the world breed them for the Kentucky Derby. And while I was there, this news story was released. You see a horse busted out of its stable. It attacked the breeder, beating him viciously. He ended up in the hospital, and I don't know about you folks, but I just hate whenever I have to hear about a case of domesticated violence.
Oh!
So like I said, a lot of news. I don't know if you guys ever follow it. It's really difficult to follow the news. You get just disenfranchised a lot. Congress, even following it up, is up to the usual nonsense, passing a lot of laws without our consent, and once again is another way of saying twice.
Yeah.
So, like I said, Congress, it's a little difficult to deal with them, and they've also announced yesterday that due to budget shortfalls, they're going to be raising a tax on private property in the upcoming fiscal year. They're going to begin by mostly smashing car windows. So one of the places I was able to vacation recently also that I really liked was the city of Portland, Oregon. It's a pretty crazy place if you ever go out there. Just a lot of weird stuff. At one point, went to this really weird beach that was full of completely nude adults and fully clothed babies.
Oh. Congress jokes are hard.
Thank you, sir. We have a Greek chorus over here, in case anybody needs commentary on their act. You know, got that over there. Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. If only you could end like Socrates. So, before I was interrupted, one of the things that I had in Oregon was gluten-free food, and I didn't have much exposure to gluten-free food, and I really don't understand exactly what gluten is. But from my research, it's apparently the part of food that affects taste. Now, one of the last things while I was there is a gentleman named Michael, who I met when I was out there, he came up to me and he said, "Shawn, you have to go to the Science Museum here. They have this amazing exhibit. It's on the Neanderthals." And I'm like, "Mike, hold on one second. The word's pronounced Neanderthal. And I don't know about you people, but I just hate it when anybody mispronounces a word." So, before I leave, I guess, we're confronted in our life with a lot of questions that we never really get the answers to. Is there a God? What happens when we die? Is there any word that sounds like homophone but means something completely different? The rest of you can use Google to understand the word. So, I was walking through the streets of New Brunswick the other day, and this woman comes up to me, and she says, "Excuse me, sir, do you have the time?" And I said, "No, ma'am. Time's actually a unit of measurement determined by relating the Earth's rotation to its orbit around the sun. It's not really something you can own or give away." Then she starts crying. Oh, just mocking this fictional woman's suffering? You monsters. So I go to this woman and I'm just like, "Ma'am, why are you crying?" She's like, "It's my husband. He just can't give up on his dreams." I'm like, "Well, why is that?" "He's been in a coma for 3 years."
Oh.
She said, "But it's okay. It's better than my first husband. He died suddenly." "Oh, when was that?" "About 5 seconds after the truck hit him."
Oh.
Okay, so what can I leave with you guys with something on a positive note, because I just disturbed all of you?
A Congress joke.
You were just not stopping, man. Do you have a social life?
Will Rogers. Will Rogers was the last person who really had good.
Thank you.
Okay,
Yes,
okay.
I know who Will Rogers is. He was a wonderful man, great American, told a lot of funny jokes. Basically, stand-up of the 1930s. I'm aware who he is.
Okay.
So I guess I'll leave you with this. There's a lot of comedians out there these days who, want to be edgy and they say, "Oh, I want to be the next Bill Hicks." You got any Bill Hicks fans here?
Yeah.
All right, so a lot of people say they want to be the next Bill Hicks. And I don't really understand that, because I can't understand why anyone would want to die of cancer at 32. Well, thank you very much, everyone. Have a nice evening.